Hello and welcome to the British Touring Car Podcast Awards ceremony, hosted of course by yours truly, Russell and Sam, here for one final time in 2023.
Yeah, it's been a long season and the rumour mill for next year is already turning. But tonight we're going to look back on the 2023 season. We're suited up, as you can see. If you're listening on audio platforms, make sure you get onto YouTube. But we're ready to get things started.
Absolutely. So there are 15 awards to go through tonight. Some have been voted by ourselves. We've put some out to the fans as well. We'll also be revealing our predictions of the season. Those famed envelopes will be opened at the end of the show. There's a bit of cliffhanger to keep you all on the edge of your seats.
Yeah, if you think someone else is more deserving of the award, of course, you can mention them down in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and, of course, like.
Right, without any further ado, let's go to the first award of the season, and we're going to do meme of the season. We've taken the 5 best from the best British touring car meme page out there. It is, of course, Btcp House of Memes. If you're not following them, make sure you do, because they've brought untold laughs to us throughout the season. There are so many quality ones to choose from. We both picked our favourite 5. We whittled them down to the best 5, and we've whittled it down to a winner as well. So should we go through the nominations? Yeah,
so the nominations tonight are, as you can see, Jeremy Clarkson, all about the Snetterton weekend and the Emilia Romagna Imola F1 weekend, which got cancelled due to the rain.
And also probably because it takes too long to say.
Yes, very much so.
Second up was the Steve Carell in the I was going to say Lewis Hamilton car, and the Nick Hamilton car in the Brands Hatch qualifying. A very simple meme, but just made me laugh.
Yeah, it's a good one. Josh Cook holding up the trophy, just like you will do on Christmas Day when you get your 4th Lynx Africa.
Oh, it's so well done. The madness of Knock Hill's race 1 with everything going wrong.
I'm so glad we were there for that.
Absolutely crazy day of racing, and the meme as crazy as the racing.
Yeah, very much so. And the final one is Josh Cook and his mullet hairstyle, one of which I am sporting tonight.
So you have copied and channeled your inner Cook to get better views on this podcast.
Let's hope so. And the winner for this is...
It is the Lynx Africa Josh Cook.
It has to be. It just has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect for how Josh Cook celebrates winning anything. He could win the actual title, I think, and look as disappointed as you will do when you get your 4th Africa set on.
Can I just say, the edit that has been made on this is brilliant as well, and I think it just adds to the element of it as well.
Absolutely. And before we move on, again, a massive thank you to BTC House of Memes for bringing a bit of joy and a bit of laugh to the sport. It's been really fun to watch their memes this season. I can't wait to see next year's as well.
And we got mentioned.
We did, but that's
we've got something. So on to the next award then, the best circuit that we visited this season. Now, we've been privileged enough to go to many circuits. We've nearly done every one on the calendar.
We have.
And Knock Hills for the first time this year is on there. Obviously Donington we went to twice. Silverstone, which you went to, I missed out on that one. And of course, probably our closest circuit, which is Snetterton. This is an award that we've picked ourselves.
It is, because we've been.
Yeah.
We're the best place, really, having been to the circuits. Yeah, all circuits have their own charm.
Yeah.
Silverstone, perhaps, aside. And they're all, of course, very, very different and very different fan experiences to go to. We've perhaps been a little bit recency biased, perhaps, on the novelty of it.
But it was a fantastic weekend as well.
I think the shelters for the spectators, you don't have to pay 25 quid for, is quite helpful. And if you're watching, Mr. Palmer, it's a good thing. Perhaps
build some of those at the MSV circuits and you might get a vote next year.
There you go. But no, Knock Hill was a fantastic weekend because obviously we had a whole weekend in Scotland, as you've probably seen on the travel vlog video. So it all links in what we do. It's almost planned.
It's almost planned.
Almost planned. It's a really good weekend up past the up in the north of the border. A really good track, really good atmosphere, really good people. It was a really fun weekend.
A long way to go, but well worth it as well.
Yeah, let's do Thruxton next year. Not next year, 2025.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I know it's not your favourite, but we must do it.
Yeah, we're going to have to qualify. Absolutely. The first fan vote of the night. We've been put out 5 all week, so thank you to everybody who has voted during the voting times that we've put out. We're going to start off with best merch of the season. So basically, we collated what we thought we saw the most of the trackside.
Yep.
You see a lot of stuff there, a lot of old stuff, but this year I think there are 3 standout teams.
Yeah.
I think people have said, "Where's Tingram?" I think he missed out. I didn't see it. I saw his own merch, but not necessarily Bristol Street Motors.
No, there
merch.
didn't seem to be much of that about, and for such a big team as well, I was kind of expecting a little bit more from them.
So the nominations were Napa, who had a yellow and blue army
they certainly did,
with some really nice stuff throughout the year. Team Hard,
yep,
with some innovative stuff. The bucket hat being a particular favourite.
I think the different colours across their team helped them sell a lot more as well.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And finally, the Laser Tools coat, which seemed that was surprisingly the coat was very popular, given that they're over 100 quid.
I know they're not cheap.
They're
not cheap at all, but maybe that's a sign of the sport. And yes, the winner this time round is Team Hard for their merchandise. Unfortunately, Team Hard, we won't be seeing them next season, as the recent TBLs have just been announced. But I'm sure we'll see their merchandise going on for many years.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's on resale or people at the track. I think you've got some Team Hard stuff as well, haven't you?
Yep, absolutely. And the vote on this was very, very, very close.
Yeah,
it was won by a singular vote.
Yes.
So,
yeah, quite surprised by that. So, moving on then. Best single weekend score prediction. So across the season, we would obviously do our predictions for each weekend. And as you could probably tell by the smug person next to me, we between the two of us, surprisingly. And yeah, Russ had a stellar weekend for Croft.
I did indeed, yes.
I think you got all but one, didn't you?
I did.
It was an excellent weekend for you.
It was 8 out of 9.
Yeah, so all credit to you. You did well there.
I did very well, and it's in the Croft colours. See, it's in the Croft colours.
I know. The luck has to be with you for some weekends, doesn't it? Though.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, mental things can happen. But yeah, your luck was certainly in on that weekend.
Bit of luck, bit of planning, and a bit of somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I think generally this year our predictions have improved on last year in terms of the scores and how many we actually got right. So
yeah, I think both of us towards the end of the season were starting to play it a little bit safe. We knew we needed the points, and obviously later on we will be awarding the champion of that as well.
Yes, we will.
Don't give it away.
We've already told people on the podcast.
Fans weekend of the season now. So the second fan vote was put out across this last week. And we've picked out tracks here that we enjoy going to, but also tracks that we normally see fans enjoy going to. And ones that have picked out, obviously, great racing. So we had the opening round at Donington, which threw up some weird results, but always makes for a good weekend. Again, Knock Hill is in there. Croft as well, with Sutton having issues there once again. Alton Park is always a brilliant weekend to go to. The spectacle of racing there is brilliant.
The views as well.
Yeah, very much so.
And Sutton had issues there too. He found a wall.
He did. And Brands GP, the finale always normally throws up a few stories along the way, and it didn't disappoint this year again.
No, absolutely not. It's a really good place for the finale to be held, really. But we have not massaged the vote. You had your say, and the winner is again Knock Hill. Yeah,
and it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? It was a mental weekend which had mental weather, mental results, and was a real advert for the sport as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was a really good weekend of racing. It was good if you were there, good if you were watching at home, and possibly defined the championship in many ways as well.
Yeah, certainly.
Next up is our race of the season. We've picked 3 rounds that have really stood out to us this year. So first of all, Knock Hill again. I promise we're not being paid by Knock Hill, but race 1 of Knock Hill, where the rain came down halfway through 3/4 of the way through the race, and it didn't just sort of start spitting. Oh, okay, we can manage this. No, it's just a cauldron of cold water.
The fact that it started at just one end of the circuit, and the cars were coming down to us with wipers on, and we're going, hang on, it's not raining here, and then the deluge that came,
cascading down.
Very much so.
Absolutely. And of course, we had all the chaos in that race. Josh Cook taken out by Ash Sutton. Sutton refusing to come in and actually doing really well on slicks until finally realising he had to come in to change them.
And then still finishing 6th.
Ingram winning the race on the road, but getting kicked out afterwards for the ride. I mean, not the only Hyundai either to be kicked out. As the earlier meme we discussed showed, it was just a heck of a race. So it's no surprise that that's made the cut. Second option is the Silverstone race 2. That was the race where Ingram and Sutton
Masterclass
through the field.
masterclass.
Yeah, it was a privilege to be able to sit there and watch that. And
Yep.
I remember saying, with about 3 laps to go, I was with my dad. I turned and said, "Sutton wins this."
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was almost set up for him. It was coming to the end of the season, and it was a real champions drive and a defining drive.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And the final option is Donington Park opening round of the season. Again, rain affected race. We saw Andrew Watson, who we'd never seen in the touring cars before, come home and nearly take a debut podium. We saw Nick Hamilton take his greatest result in the touring cars, and we saw again people gambling on the tyres at the start. Tom Chilton gambling,
winning the race.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the winner of that was race 1 at Knock Hill.
Yeah. Again, it was a really close one. The Sutton Ingram one, the race wasn't very good unless you were Sutton or Ingram. It was a great spectacle, but the race wasn't particularly good. Donington was. It was good. It was good.
That was a classic dry to wet race that we've seen many times over. Whereas the one up in Knock Hill, there were so many different things happening, and being at the circuit was really difficult to understand who was in what position. And I remember I was taking pictures of the big screen trying to work out what the leaderboard was at the time. Yeah. And it just had everything.
Just that there was Donington, I don't remember many cars going off.
No.
Whereas at Knock Hill, because it came down so quick and so hard.
It's like an ice rink.
Yeah, cars were off left, right and centre. I remember Lloyd went through the gravel in front of us. Crease at the top of the hill, lost it. Yeah, I mean, it was just, absolutely chaos. So Knock Hill race 1 does take it. Sorry, Josh Cook.
Moving on then to the third fans vote of the season, and this is a fairly standard one for an award ceremony. We're looking at rookie of the season. 4 rookies, 3 of which started the season. Of course, Andrew Watson, who became Jack Sears champion. Mikey Doble, his first year in the sport after coming in from club racing with PMR. Ronan Pearson, moving up from the Minis. And finally, Daryl De Leon, who came in midway through the season at a merry-go-round at Team Hard.
And of course, the winner, quite overwhelmingly in the end, was Andrew Watson, who, Jack Sears winner, came into the sport with absolutely no touring car pedigree or experience, and really did, from day one, at day dot at Donington, just looked a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he did. I think he gained over 60% of the vote as well, which shows how much of a dominant season he has had this time round.
I just want to give a little shout out to both Dobble, who pushed Watson all the way in the Jack Sears until jelly happened, and also Deline, that what you've got there is a kid, and he's a kid who's been chucked into a team. We're not going to go into team hard stuff that's happened off the grid in the last few days, but a team that clearly had issues off the track, and he kept his head very well. He scored points in the few races he was there, and he didn't really do a lot wrong, apart from a spin on his first qualifying session in the wet, which you can kind of
allow in that.
And to be fair to the kid, he looks quick, and he's a real pleasure to talk to off track. So hopefully we'll see DeLine in some form of racing next season. I think, and Pearson's had a good season as well. I don't want to exclude mention to him, but he's got a bit more in the team he was in and the background he's got. You'd expect him to perhaps hit the ground running a bit more than those 3.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see that already 2 of those rookies are confirmed for next season. It's always difficult trying to come into the sport and then stay in the sport, especially if being money critical now. But if we can have all 4 of them, or at least 3 of them, back next season, I think it's really good for the sport going forward. Moving on.
Yeah, our award, this one. We're going to do our livery of the season. Fans have got a vote coming up later on as well. We picked our 5 favourites and given, cheated a little bit because I told the fans they couldn't have this particular livery, and I picked it because I wanted to. So we've got the standard Napa, yellow and blue livery, instantly recognisable.
It's going to be, I think, a classic as well for years to come, that livery.
I agree. The Laser Tools BMW, metallic blue. Looks better in the flesh than it does in photos, I will say that. The Toyota, look, it's the classic Toyota racing. I think if they go matte black for next year, like the rally cars, look, it could be a very sexy car next season. But this is traditional Gazoo racing. It is Gazoo, not Yuzu. Gazoo racing colours, and it's it's really a good livery. We've got the One Motorsport livery, a bit different. Quite like the yellow and the grey.
It was nice to see a change up in that this season as well. Obviously, we're used to them being BTC with that black and pink. But that neon yellow really stood out on track. Yeah,
and I've got I forced this one in there. I threatened not to turn up tonight if it wasn't in there. It's the Valvoline one-off special that Osborne ran at Silverstone. My God, That's a sexy livery.
It was a shame it was only a one-off.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Last season as well, they ran a one-off Valvoline livery at Brands in the final
yes.
round.
Yes, it did.
So it'd be interesting to see them come into the sport a little bit more, possibly next season or in future seasons.
Well, having changed their name to Alliance Racing, does that mean that Napa isn't the main sponsor next season, and would Valvoline potentially become that?
Be a hell of a name to bring into the sport.
Oh, massively so. Yeah. But they are getting more into the sport,
yeah.
into motorsport now, because you look at Aston Martin F1 team, they've got Valvoline livery,
yeah.
Valvoline sponsorship on the livery rather. So, but for us, we have picked one motorsport.
This was a democratic vote between us, wasn't it? As well,
yeah.
we each picked out our top 5 and then chose which team came the highest combined, and that was One Motorsport.
It was second on both our lists.
Yeah, it's a fairly standout livery. It was different to everyone else as well on the circuit.
Yeah, and I've not really seen a black and grey and yellow livery pop like this before.
No.
You say black and grey, think, another dull sort of livery.
Yeah.
But actually, it's quite smart. It's a really quite smart livery, and the sponsors they've had on the car suited the colour scheme they had.
Yep.
Which worked really well. So obviously you had the Teng tools on some of them. You had the Eurocar parts on them. Yeah. It just suited what they'd gone for. So yeah, it's a smart livery. Not too busy, which I know is very key when dealing with you. Yeah, smart livery. Look forward to seeing what happens next year. Obviously, they are confirmed coming back next year. They've got at least 3 cars. And we won't go into TBL licenses today. I haven't got time. But yeah, it'd be good to see what they bring back to the grid next year.
So then, moving on to Surprise of the Season. This is another one picked by us. And there were 3 nominations for this. First of all being PMR. I don't think any of us in the touring car community saw this kind of performance over the season coming from PMR in a aging Astra.
I bet Adam Weaver will tell you otherwise.
Yes, I bet he would. But what a performance from them. Napa for the absolute domination that has been this season.
Yeah, it's
for someone to take, or a team to take 9 out of 10 qualifying pole positions, especially in the era that we're in and the competitiveness of the drivers, is just unheard of.
Absolutely, yeah. It's no surprise that Sutton has won a title, but the manner he's done it is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I completely agree.
And then finally, the support races that we had throughout the season. Obviously, we lost the junior formats that went off to other series and other race weekends. But we gained some incredible sport races along the way this season. There will be more coming next season before a new junior format comes in. But some of the racing they produced was really good and really close.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sort of hysteria and pearl clutching at the start of the season. We'd lost the genetics from the grid and nothing could replace them. It'd be really bad. And actually, I wasn't a huge fan of the idea of having different things, different meetings, because it's difficult to follow the championship in that way. But actually, what we got was quite good. I liked the Radicals, I liked the Caterhams, the Legends racing was just fantastically good fun. I can't say I'm particularly excited about more Porsches on the grid, but that's a discussion for another day. But actually, given that we all went in with a little bit of a sour note about how the sport racing would be, it was a good season.
Yeah, and coming back next season as well, we're going to have that variety once again.
Yeah.
I wonder if next season might be a little more lackluster, because we've seen that variety for one season. It was nice and new and interesting, but then again, you might also be starting to follow drivers that come through those series.
Yeah,
so we'll see. But the winner of this one has to be Power Max Racing.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, we'd all pretty much I've said it to death. When they announced the 3 cars, we thought that's a bold move with 3 Astras and 2 rookies. A car from the 1970s, and Aaron Taylor-Smith, who I think we both thought had his best days were probably behind him. Yeah. But actually, what they've done on the track is remarkable this season. Taking the Jack Sears, obviously that would have been the aim at the start of the season, but I don't think they'd have necessarily thought it was realistic. Particularly with Osborne in the Ford at a team like Napa. Yep. Yeah, they've done really well. All 3 drivers have taken podiums.
As I say, we kind of expected Napa to do well.
Yep.
Obviously not as well as they did do. But we were sort of like here or there with the legends that came along with the sport. We thought, okay, we might get some interesting racing across a couple of weekends. But PMR nearly surprised every weekend, especially in the second half of the season.
Oh, absolutely. It really turned a corner after the summer break. Dovel being the only driver to break Napa's pole streak is... I don't think any of us saw that coming. No. So, really well done to PMR. They are confirmed back next year. They have got 3 licenses. They have confirmed Taylor-Smith and Dovel.
But they haven't confirmed a car yet.
Surely.
We keep on saying it.
Oh yeah, but there's Coopers available now, isn't there?
There are Coopers available,
thing.
yes.
That's the thing.
But there is also the new shape Astra, which
is,
they
yeah.
could well bring along. We've seen obviously the Astras used in TCR as well, which they're known for racing in. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops next season. On to the fourth fans vote then.
Yep.
Their livery of the season.
Absolutely. We again basically picked the same 4 and then didn't allow the Valvoline livery in as a one-off because that would have probably wiped the floor. And I don't want everybody shouting at me that Napa have won everything. So I don't want it to be called a Napa and Knock Hill podcast. So we changed the Valvoline one for Team Hard. In particular, the Autobright one that was sported by Thompson, Crease, Huff.
All of them by the end of the season.
All by the end of the season. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, but the black, the red, and the white specifically. Although Nick Hamilton's I thought was a really good livery as well.
It was, yeah.
But shame we didn't see it for the full season.
No, unfortunately.
There was a clear winner in this one.
Yeah, it was the Laser Tools BMW. It was a really nicely set out car. In the pictures in the pre-season, we were thinking, okay, but then when you really got to see it at the track, it looked quick standing still, didn't it?
It did. Not bad for a sponsor that wasn't going to be in the sport anymore to win an award.
Yeah, not bad, is
it?
There you go. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're back once again next season. We kind of expect them to be. We don't see any reason why not.
Well, I could think of a reason why not.
Go on then.
That Moffat's got 2 licenses.
Okay.
So is he going to go back to his own team?
Possible.
With Laser Tools again? Who aren't in the sport anymore? who knows?
I think that bridge might have been burnt.
Well, you don't know. I mean, whose main sponsor? Somebody else? Because he took Rocket.
Yeah, that was Hamilton's.
He's taken Laser.
Yeah.
Napa. Halfords.
Yeah, that's all possible.
Autobright.
I think it's just going to be whoever can give him the best deal for next season.
Yeah, of course.
Will obviously get their name on the car.
And that's obviously the way it's got to be.
Yeah.
I would suggest.
So then, about halfway through, aren't we?
I think so.
And
it's
time to change it up.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the more crucial awards of the season.
I think so, because the whole point of this introduction to the sport, changing the sport as we know it, to make it better, to make the racing closer.
Innovative technology.
DRS-like.
Yeah. Best hybrid overtake of the season.
Yes.
This was a fairly easy award.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was very much so.
There wasn't one.
No,
not at all.
Not at all. But the rules changing next year.
Yeah.
Promise to
double the amount and all that. We'll wait and see how it pans out. I'm
they've had to
a
install,
little more hesitant this season than I was before last.
They've had to install storm drains on the set to stop cars taking off now with the double for next year. But yeah, look, we've bashed hybrid all year. It would only be wrong if we didn't bash it here because it's what we do. Say the line, Russell. But yeah, let's see what happens next year with the hybrid.
One thing I must say about hybrid this year, Tim Harvey, David Addison have been so positive about it. And credit to them for that. Yeah. But it hasn't worked.
Well, actually, they have been on the whole. There's been a couple of Harveys just sort of gone, this is supposed to be different and it's not working.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, Sutton dominant in a car that for most of the season had no hybrid. Tells you all you need to know about the effectiveness of the system, in my opinion. But
very much so.
There's a 10 minutes with if you want to hear more.
So then, moving on to the final fans vote of the season. And it's a pretty easy one, this. Driver of the season for the fans.
Yeah, again, we've gone for the obvious candidates. So you've got your Sutton, who's won the title.
Yep.
Ingram, who is the people's champ, I think it's fair to say. Jake Hill, who came in a very good third and I think has improved massively as a driver. Andrew Watson as the Jack Sears winner in his debut.
Yep.
And fan favourite Bobby Thompson, I think, has exceeded all expectations in the car this year and has got himself quite a bit of a following of fans now as well. So we picked from those 5.
It's a shame he hasn't got enough sponsorship from those fans, but
who knows with Restart Racing, that's my bet.
Well, we'll see.
But
yeah, so fans driver of the season, it was a close run thing.
Quite close.
But Ash Sutton does take it for his 4th championship.
Yeah.
And his first one in front wheel drive. He's proved this year that he can do it in front wheel drive and rear wheel drive. And the domination that we've seen this season from him has been almost unprecedented.
Yeah, and we go back to the Silverstone race. It's all very well having a very quick car.
Yeah.
But you've got to have the skill to get past the whole
and
grid.
stay out of trouble.
stay out of trouble, pass people on the grid that you don't really want to be racing with.
Yep.
Because they're obviously in their own racing, and a bit predictable. Some of the drivers, some are very hard racers, naming no names, but to pick your way through, and it's the same for Ingram in that school. But to pick your way through, yes, you've got the car that can do it.
Yeah.
But you know, Camish didn't come second in the championship. Robot didn't come third in the championship. Osborne didn't come fourth in the championship, and he was head and shoulders above the rest of his team.
And we've seen drivers that were in his position that may have had accidents on race one, like he did this season, drop back through the field and make their way through the field. He does it so well.
Yeah.
Other drivers don't. Turkington being one of those, really struggled. We saw Camish struggle to get through the field at times last season and this season. But his way that he controls a car and brings a car through a weekend is this season unrivaled.
Yeah, agreed.
So then, another award for us.
Chosen by us, not for us.
Yeah. We'll get onto those at the end.
We'll let the National Podcast Award decide when we win an award.
So we're choosing car of the season. So this is the car that has performed the best. That has been overall unbeatable.
We'll go for the nominations for the sake of democracy and for the sake of the video.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, the Napa Ford Focus is in there. The Hyundai, I'd almost say exclusively Ingram's Hyundai is in there, and the PMR Astra, because I would argue on occasion this year it has been the third best car.
Yeah.
I think it has been.
Well, the fact that it took that other pole position this year as well shows how quick it was in raw pace.
And I think overall the season it's been better than the one Honda. It's been better than the Cupra.
Yep.
It's been better than the Toyota.
Yeah.
The only car might not quite have been better than, other than the two we've already mentioned, is the BMW.
BMW.
However, I say,
as long when the track conditions were right and the setup was right,
they were.
It was at least as competitive as the BMW, if not better.
Certainly better than the ones wielded by Jolly and Morgan most of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
However,
it's no surprise.
It has to go down to that Alliance Racing Ford. It was so dominant. In qualifying, we saw that 9 out of 10, and not just all Sutton poles as well. Rowbottom took pole. Camish took pole as well. Osborne probably could have got a little more out of the car, although he had his best result of the season in that car this season.
Yeah. And it was more. Osborne has been way more competitive this year than he has been in any other season. So,
massively.
And people are going to go, well, they did load testing. Yeah, but you're allowed to do testing. There's nothing that says you can't do testing. Yeah, they've spent a lot of money and they've done a lot of time in it, but that's racing.
They've got the reward at the end of it as well.
But that's any sport. You know, football teams generally, the ones that win, have the money and lots of training facilities, and you know, it's how it works.
Sometimes you have just got to invest and go all in, which is what Napa have done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've come up trumps this season. Moving on then to the team of the season. 3 teams in here. Napa, of course, once again, being so dominant as they have been this season. PMR.
Yeah, I mean, just quick on Napa, they've won everything they were eligible to win apart from one trophy.
Yeah.
Which tells you how big these are, doesn't it?
Very much so.
There it is.
Power Max Racing in there as well for the outstanding performances that they've had. And of course, One Motorsport in there who took home the independent team's title.
And independent driver.
Yep.
With Josh Cook.
And the award goes to?
Yeah, it's Napa Racing. There's a bit of a thing, but you can't look past it. They've won, as I just had said in the intro there, they've won everything they're eligible to win apart from one trophy, which came down to individual drivers, effectively.
Yeah.
That is dominance. That is a team that is well oiled. Everybody knows their job. I get the impression that it's a safe place for people to have ideas. If they feel something isn't working, everybody feels they can speak about it rather than sort of sit and be worried about it. For
the majority of the season as well, they've got the calls right where they were most important as well. Okay, maybe they got that Sutton one at Knock Hill slightly wrong, but I wonder if that was more down to him.
Driver would have been involved in that.
And it still paid off for them, kind of, because he still finished 6th ahead of most of his rivals.
And I'd say the weekends where they were forced to run all 3 tyres, they got the strategy right. They split the strategy. I'm thinking Snetterton, I'm looking at you, BMW, but they split the strategy and they're able to say, right, you're going to be quicker this race, off you go. And in second race, you're going to be slow, so you let him through straight away. He goes off and you rear gun, and it worked.
They did that at Croft as well. I remember, obviously, Rowbottom giving that interview of where he missed the gear and let Sutton through because he didn't need the points in the championship by the end, but they weren't to know that at that point.
That's it, and I think that's another sign of how good the team is. That Robot is happy.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, not happy, but willing.
He's understanding.
Yeah, willing to do what he needs to do for the team. That's a sign of a good team that's being run well, where everybody knows their jobs, everybody knows what the end goals are, and yeah, we'll see what they can do next year.
So then, getting on to our driver of the year.
And the final award.
And the final award. 3 nominations for this. Obviously, title winner Ash Sutton. Joint record holder now for most British touring car titles with 4. Had a stellar season, as we've talked about already.
Endlessly.
Tom Ingram also in there for having a season that, was it 10 out of the last 12 would have won him the title.
Yeah. Ingram's season is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it was. It can't be obviously he won't be remembered because he's not the champion, but it can't be understated how bloody hard he pushed Sutton this year. Yeah, it is a phenomenal effort by Ingram.
Very
really
much.
Good.
And finally, Andrew Watson for coming into the series as a rookie, a relative unknown to us as well, and performing so well in a car that we thought was going to struggle to then take home the Jack Sears title.
Yeah.
However, there can only be one winner for this.
Yeah,
it is Mr. Ash Sutton, and he is, if not already, cementing his place in touring car history and legend.
Yeah, 2/3 of the podiums this year were his. I think he took 20 out of 30.
Yeah.
Just 6 poles, is it, in the end?
You kind of run out of superlatives
you
for
do.
him this season.
I don't know what else to say.
And we'll hope that he is coming back next season to defend his title, assuming that he will be with the same team, because he's comfortable there at the moment.
So.
And to go out and be the out-and-out record holder for the amount of touring car titles, I think that's got to be his aim, isn't it?
Although it's Ash Sutton, so if he joined a team and decided to run a Range Rover just to prove he could, in a vote.
I want to see him in a Cupra. Because I reckon he might still do it,
I can't even
Looking at the performances that Bobby Thompson got out of that Cupra towards the end of last season, I have no doubt that he would be challenging for a title. If not next season, then the season after.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
But so we'll move on now to the most important and crucial results of the season, where the rivalry has been passionate throughout, I would say.
I would say so.
And true champions will be crowned. The season predictions from us here at the British Touring Car Podcast.
Indeed. Which one are we doing first? Are we doing the envelopes first, or are we doing the overall predictions
We will be doing the envelopes first.
The envelopes first.
Yeah, because everyone knows who's already won the overall.
Well, do you want to get out of the way then?
Oh, go on then.
Okay, well, you can present me with my award then, can't you?
Yes, I suppose.
There you go.
Thank you. So, the award, which he's actually got it engraved.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
God.
yes. No
I
expense.
hadn't realised that. The award for the predictions this season, obviously we go through our predictions each weekend, picking out race winners, things that we may think will happen across the weekend.
We'll take poll.
And a couple of generalisations as well. It was a close fought thing, once again.
It was.
And
I think it was a point and a half in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. This will be the 2nd or 3rd season in a row.
I've not got the data for the first. I've got the spreadsheet anymore, so I've got a feeling I did win it. First year we did it, but I can't prove it. So we'll say for the record books, it's the second one, because the first year of our podcast, if you listen to it, it's very different. So we'll bin that. Okay. That's fine.
2nd season in the row, at very least, that he's won this.
Yeah.
It is the Predictions Championship, and this is the little award that you have bought yourself, I must add, for you to celebrate and
absolutely
keep for the next year until next year.
I'm looking forward to the photo being taken after to go on the Instagram page. But just until then, when you listen to the podcast, you're thinking, who speaks the most sense? Just remember, this proves that I statistically make the most sense.
Wait until the envelopes.
Okay, week in, week out,
yeah.
I statistically make the most sense.
But we won't talk about fantasy football then.
Well, no, this is a touring car podcast. Thank you very much for this award. I look forward to defending it next season.
Do you want to thank your mum and your dad? And
they don't make the predictions.
Okay.
If I win the envelope round, maybe I'll take both. But
yeah,
thank you very much for the award to myself, and I look forward to defending
it. Safe.
I look forward to defending it next season. It's going on my mantelpiece at home. It's got a slight piece of superficial damage to the bottom, but that's okay. Right, that's good, but we can go even better. as you remember, at the start of the year, we both sealed envelopes for predictions. There's yours.
I'm having yours.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. There's another trophy at play here.
Yes. The
engraved as well.
Final standings champ.
Yep. It was paid by letter, so I didn't put champion. So
brilliant. Yeah, we obviously you saw at the start of the season that we sealed up these envelopes. They are still sealed now, and we will be opening them on camera. And just to take you over, we have points awarded as follows. So correct championship winners, we predicted all the championships. We'll get 5 points if you get that correct. You will then get 3 points for a correct position in the overall championship standings, and a 1 point for if you're a place either side, high or low.
Can I recommend you get me a pen?
Yes.
So we can write as we go.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
And we shall add up the scores and crown a winner from these predictions.
Would you like to go first and do mine and read out what I picked for my championship winners?
Yep, I can do. There is a pen just on that table beside you.
Oh, so there is. You can write down if I've got any points. I don't think I have.
Right then. Nice thick card, mate.
I know. I'll do it properly.
Right, we'll keep that on for afterwards. Winners. Here we go.
Here we go.
So as you can see on screen, we have the champions of all the categories this season. The driver's champion was, of course, Ash Sutton, which everyone knows by now. You went for a Mr. Jake Hill.
I did.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
It is, yes.
So that's a little cross by that one.
Okay, fair enough.
The team's champion, you went for Napa Racing.
Yes.
Well done. 5 points there for you.
That's a good start. That's a very good start.
The manufacturer's champion's next. Now, only
I
four
know
categories or 4 runners in this.
Yeah, I know I got this wrong.
Ford, BMW, Hyundai and Toyota. And you went for BMW.
I played it safe. They've won it like 56 years in a row.
I don't blame you for that at all. But it is wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. I can't argue with it. But yeah, it was a safe bet. It was the safe bet.
It was. Moving on then to the Independent Championship and Drivers' Champion Josh Cook. You went for Josh Cook.
Did I?
It was the...
I thought I'd gone for Thompson. Okay, brilliant.
No, you've gone for Cookie.
Okay.
He took that home fairly convincingly towards the end of the season. The independent teams, however.
Oh no, that's the one I meant for Thompson, not, isn't it? Yeah, I went for Team Hard.
Obviously, One Motorsport won that. You did go for Team Hard with Bobby Thompson and Lloyd.
Let me just give my reasoning. You don't rate Adam Moffat,
yeah.
So you can see why I didn't go for one. Yeah. And I didn't think Will Powell was going to score many points for Team either. So I thought that Lloyd and Thompson would score. And actually, if they'd sold the season out, I think it would have been a lot closer.
It would probably have been a lot closer, yes. And for
but it wasn't.
Jack Sears.
I would have gone for Osborne, I think.
Yeah, you did go for Osborne, and of course Andrew Watson was champion. We didn't do Wingfoot because you don't like it.
Did we not do Wingfoot?
We didn't.
Okay. Do you want me to do your champions next?
Yes, go on.
Have the pen. Right.
I honestly can't remember what I went for.
You got on heavy paper though, which is quite...
Yes, I know.
Right, okay. Predictions for the team. You've not put drivers, which is... Oh no, because you went that way. Okay. So, you also went for Jake Hill.
I did.
So,
yeah,
that's a no.
That's an unfortunate one. I like how we were along the same thought line there.
Yeah, absolutely. We did really well in the Rocket BMW. And
we did.
I expected BMW to come swinging a bit more than they did.
They missed out on setup a lot of times this season.
You've put down Wingfoot, which is funny, because I didn't.
Okay.
It doesn't matter anyway, you got it wrong.
Yep.
So we'll just cross off. You went for Hill, incidentally. That was wrong anyway. Manufacturers, I'm going to go for next.
Yep.
You also went for BMW.
Yep.
So that's a no.
And we can promise that we didn't do these together. These were done completely separately.
One on card for a start.
Yeah, yours was done on the 17th.
Yeah, yours done on the 19th.
Mine was done on the 19th.
Yep. Your team's champion, you went for Napa, which is wrong because technically it's an Allegiance Racing. No, no, that's correct. Well done. 5 points to you, sir. Independent, you went for Cook. Well done. That's 5 points to you. Independent teams, you went for 1. Well done. That puts you in the lead. That
could be crucial.
That could be very crucial. And Jack Sears, you went for Pearson.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do a lot better in that Hyundai. I don't think either of us really saw PMR doing as well as they did.
No.
From the bottom up.
Okay.
So Jade Edwards in 31st.
Yep.
Neither of us would have got that right because there were more drivers at the end of the season.
Yep.
So you can put a cross.
Well, I can't because we'll start on 27.
So we'll start on 27. Yeah, James Gornall, obviously there. Weren't expecting him to be in the championship. Nor was Rob Huff, and nor was Daryl De Leon. So 24th, Nick Hamilton.
So you get nothing on that basis. Because he's not one up or down either.
Nor do you. Michael Crees, 23rd.
It wasn't predicted, so.
Wasn't predicted. And.
So you won't get a point.
No.
No. This is very complicated.
Patterson for 22nd.
Oh, shut up.
You've got it as well.
Oh, right, okay, good news.
3 points. In 21st.
We both went double.
We both went double, and he was 20th.
Oh,
so we
okay.
both get a point for that.
Excellent.
But overall, obviously, Gamble was 21st. 20th was double.
Okay, so we're going to get any points with Watson.
Osborne was 19th.
So you're going to get nothing for that.
No. 18th was Ronan Pearson.
Oh, shut up.
Which you've just missed out on because he was 20th in yours.
You've got.
Bang on, lovely. And 17th was Bobby Thompson. Obviously, neither of us thought that his season was going to be cut short. No. But overall, he did really well to finish there in the end. In 16th, then, we have Aidan Moffat.
No, you went Taylor Smith.
Ooh, unlucky. 15th, we have Watson.
No, you went Chilton.
14th was Chilton. So I get a point.
You do, yeah, you do.
13th was Lloyd.
It's not looking good for me at all,
It's not looking good for you, mate.
No, you went Rowbottom.
12th was Jelly.
Where have you put Lloyd on this? Oh, you're 19. 12th was Jelly. Oh, you're spot on.
So are you.
Okay.
That is Jelly's position,
That is the Jelly place,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, I think you've won. It's going to be a miracle.
11th was Aaron Taylor Smith.
No, you've got Collard. Who do I have?
You had Gamble, who was way down.
Yeah. Well, you had a 9th, so I was sharp for you.
10th was Rory Butcher.
You went Moffat.
9th was Adam Morgan.
You get a point because you went Gamble. You went Morgan 8th, so you get a point for that.
8th was Ricky Collard.
No point for you.
7th was Dan Rowbottom.
It's very upsetting to me that you're not saying you've got points.
So you've got a point for that.
Hey, you didn't. Oh dear.
6th was Dan Camish.
You get a point because you had him 7th.
Ooh. 5th was Josh Cook.
You're bang on, that's annoying. I'm guessing I wasn't.
No. 4th was Colin Turkington.
You're bang on. Was I bang on?
You get a point. He was 5th in your championship prediction.
Useless. You've won, well done.
3rd was Jake Hill.
No.
2nd was Ingram.
1. Oh, you're right. No,
yeah. Same for you as well. You get 3. And then obviously Sutton was champion.
Yeah, that's not looking good. So you've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
And add on the ones from there.
37.
You have 22.
Yeah, that's comprehensive.
It is fairly comprehensive, isn't it?
But it means we all get a prize.
It does!
It's like Child Sports Day. So, well done. Congratulations.
I'm really quite surprised by that, actually.
Yeah,
by how many I was either close or bang on as well.
But also, there's some real big outliers in there from the pair of us, which we weren't expecting.
No, and of course, we weren't expecting there to be as many drivers this season as there were eventually.
That's not helped out at all, really.
Which, can skew some results, but certainly towards the top end of the championship.
That's what I'm blaming my loss on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm blaming my loss on. Anyway, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You are the final standings champ.
Yes. That's
Please do say a few words.
That's going to go up behind when you see the podcast, so we can see this every single week. I hope it's going to go on the same for you.
If I was supposed to put it.
Yeah, perfect. Looking forward to next season. I think my predictions have worked out quite nicely. Overall in the championship, I tend to play it safe, don't I?
But you know what that means?
Yeah.
Together, we're a bloody good podcast.
Yes.
Because I have the week-to-week knowledge, and you've got the year knowledge.
I've got the overall.
Put that together.
Yeah.
And that's probably why we're the #1 independent UK-based Cambridgeshire British Touring Car podcast in this street.
Yeah, thanks again for watching. We do hope that you've enjoyed the award ceremony. I know it's looking a little bit different, but please, if you have enjoyed this format, do let us know. We may well be doing more in this sort of style next season.
I like the map drop.
Yeah, and of course we'll be trying to do more vlogs and stuff like that.
Yep, there will be, depending when this goes out, a final Christmas 10 minutes with.
Yep.
We're not deciding the topic yet because the
so much has happened.
Yeah, the TBL news has sort of rocked our world a little bit. We were going to look at doing a quick chat about electric cars and whether we'll get an electric
That
series.
might be out the window now.
But given the recent announcements from, or lack of announcement, but Hard not being here, Restart Racing being here with Chris Smiley coming back, we might end up talking about the TBL merry-go-round and silly season rumours. But we'll see how we go. That'll be Christmas Day message for you all, so that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, everyone else, please do enjoy your Christmas and New Year. Stay safe, and we will be back once again for the 2024 season with plenty of new predictions.
Absolutely. Thanks as ever for your support, and look forward to 2024.